Hello guys, and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to go through gold. I'm just going to show you how to do the top down analysis, starting from the highest time frame all the way until the time frames, the smaller ones, where you'll be executing the trade. So make sure that you stick around until the end so that I can just give you the tips as to like what to look out for in this coming week. So let's get started. All right, so this is how it looks like on the monthly. So it's very important for us to check these bigger time frames, because if you don't, sometimes you're going to miss out on some key information that can, that you could have used to direct your trades on your smaller time frames, right? So this is what we're having on the monthly. So right now we are at a very critical, area, because if you look at this, I'll show you this. Or maybe I should just draw a line so that you can see what I'm talking about. You see this low here, this one, you see this one. If we move past that, the bulls, I can tell you now, they're not gonna let the sellers push beyond that point. The reason being that if they can't defend this point, if they can't defend this point here, right, it means that the sellers would have all this space to move, unchallenged, meaning they will have a very high chance of pushing until this one. This is the only area where on the bigger time frames they will find another obstacle if they manage to pass this one, right? Which is why I'm saying the bulls are not gonna let the sellers do that. Yes, it's possible, but it's a very, very sensitive area, this one. So they are going to try and defend it. And now, if you look at the candlestick that we're having currently, the board is still slightly big, but there's still a few more days, about 2 weeks or so before the candlestick closes, right? So, which means that should the bulls try and fight these sellers that are trying to push beyond their key area, this is most likely going to end up with what? A bullish pin bar. And when we're having a bullish pin bar, that would suggest that there is now the bulls gaining traction to push up, and they will have a space to push at least until there. But for now, they are going to fight. They are going to fight here. The bulls are not going to let the sellers move past that, because otherwise they will have lost, and now the sellers would have all this space, right? So that's what you need to take from this one. Not a lot of stuff. Now let's check what we're having on weekly. So this is how the structure looks like on weekly. So the same horizontal line that I drew there, you can still see this side. And on this time frame, the price is has been moving to the downside for quite some time now, and we are now inside this very, very strong and fresh area of support or area of demand, right? So this is the one that we're touching, and it's the one that I said, should the price break it, it means now on the monthly scale we will have all this space to push to the downside, because these ones are not very strong. As you can see, they are formed by pin bars, but that's a story for another day. So that's why I said the bulls are going to try and defend this area that we're in right now. They will try and push up, and we can say that currently, as we move into the downside, this is your trend line, and this is the nearest area of resistance we are having, and this is the support that we are currently inside, right? So this is our demand, this is our supply, this is our resistance, this is our support, right? So which means that because we're inside the support or the demand that I said is very strong, it means next week, or when the market opens, the next few weeks or so, the price is most likely gonna react and push up towards the trend line. Of course, they can break the support, but it's not gonna be easy. That one I can tell you is not gonna be easy, because of what? This is the only hope, the last hope for the bulls. If they fail to defend this one, it's over for them. You see? So that's why I said this coming week you need to try and look towards pushing towards this area of resistance there and the trend line. Of course, it might not happen this week. This week we might have maybe just a small candlestick there, but in the next coming weeks we're most likely gonna reach for that, right? That's what we're having on this one. So let's check what we have on daily. So this is how our daily thing looks. The structure on daily looks something like this. We can see it's still saying the same thing that we saw on weekly and on monthly, right? So why am I saying that? We are bouncing from the support, right? Still the same one. And when you look at how you're bouncing from it, This is what is happening. I want you to check one thing. Look at how the price has been moving, to the downside. Look at this. Look at this. It was a very clear downtrend. They were very meaningful when they were moving there, but all of a sudden, this is the type of candlesticks that we are getting. Immediately, they pushed into that support that I said they are going to struggle to move past. Look at what is happening now. We can see that they're trying, but you can see now the bulls are fighting there. That's why we're having all those long tails. And on Friday, something happened. I think there were fundamentals. That this is one that most people like to trade. I don't even want to talk about it. So that happened, and we ended up with a candlestick that looks like this, right? What does that candlestick tell us? It's giving us some, we are moving to the downside, and then we have a candlestick like this to the upside, which means we are having a bullish. I always mention this if you've been following the videos that I've been putting here. If it's your first time, just make sure that you subscribe so that whenever I make new videos like this, where I'll be teaching you, all this price action stuff, you will be notified. So this is a bullish engulfing, right? So basically, it means that the bulls became so aggressive such that they managed to push the price all the way up and swallow all the price action that these guys were doing. So basically, you can see the body of this one has covered the bodies of those three candlesticks there. So that's why we said it's a bullish engulfing, which is suggesting that the bulls are becoming aggressive. That's why even on weekly we said that we're going to look towards the upside. And even on this one, it says we need to look towards the upside because of what? The location, and again the engulfing that we just had. We have our bearish trend line still the same, located there, and we have the nearest resistance up there, which means that now that if the bulls are strong enough, if they try and defend this support, they will have a very big space. Look at this. They have a chance to push up to at least the trend line. Obviously, they might not move, in a straight line like the sellers did here. They might play around like this, but the target is either this one or this one, whichever one they're going to touch first. That's the target. For as long as they don't allow the sellers to move past this point, this horizontal line, they have a very high chance to push there. That's why I said this horizontal line, for the sellers to cross that, it's not going to be easy. So for now, even on daily, after what happened on Friday, we have a chance to push up there. Now, let's check what we're having on H4. I hope you're following, guys. I hope you're still following. So this is what we have now on H4. On H4, when the daily was giving us those, those pin bars, and, when it was just playing around there, giving us those pin bars, this is what was happening on H4. And on H4, the lowest point we reached was this one, which means, I don't know, if you wanted to put a trend line, you can put it there, but it's fine. We just need to say we hope that the price can take out this candlestick there. If it can take that one out, then you can mark this one and hope that they come back, and then you buy from that, because remember, when you start from the daily all the way up, we said the target is there. But you can't just say when the market opens I'm gonna enter, because now if you're entering, chances are that should this one, the next candlestick, have a tail like this before taking off, it's gonna wipe your stop loss. So that's why it's very important. Yes, you might know the direction, but it's also important for you to make sure that when you enter at the right time, so that you don't, the stop loss is not hunted before the price moves in your direction. So that's why I said here on H4 we saw some, aggressive move here. That's why I said if we just break this tail here, if you just break that one, then you'll be able to say I'm gonna buy from this. When you're buying from that, because now you're buying from H4, if you're buying from H4, right, you're gonna have to use some of the structures that you're seeing on that time frame or higher when you're setting your take profit. I can't trade M1 on the 1 minute time frame and then say I'll use the weekly resistance to set my take profit. It does not make sense, because there's going to be a lot of structures that are just neglected along the way. You need to make sure that the time frame that you're using to take your trades should be the time frame that you're using to manage that trade. When you're setting your stop losses, deciding to adjust the stop loss, setting the take profit and whatnot, you need to do it on the same time frame that you used to execute, or you can use higher ones, but it needs to be converted. I will make a video on that one some other time. but it's very important to use the same time frame that you use to execute. That's why I'm saying if you are on this H4, you need to make sure that you don't look past this. You don't look past that. So you're gonna take your buy trade. Maybe this can be your TP1, and the main TP will be that one there at the top, which is going to be inside this one, inside the daily one. But when you're trading daily, this is nothing to you. But when you're trading H4, there is some resistance there that you need to make sure that you take that into consideration. That's why it's very important to use the structures on your time frame to manage your trade. So let's check one more time frame. Let's do, or maybe we can also do quickly M15, but I don't like going to those smaller time frame. So this is what we have on H1, right? So the H1 looks like this. So if you want to mark your, let's see, let's bring a horizontal line. Okay, that tail that I was commenting on H4 has been taken out. We can see we moved higher than that. That's all that I wanted to check. So we moved above it and went all the way until there. So which means on H1 we can mark our structures like this and say this is the H1 resistance and this is the H1 support that pushed the price up and pushed it above the trend line, and also broke some of these areas of resistance. So that's why we can say that if you're trading H1, you can mark this support and hope that the price will come back and give you the opportunity to buy from there before taking off. And when you try and zoom in, you will see that, you know, we moved all the way up and there was a bearish pin bar there. The price moved down, but it just stayed there. So maybe if the price fails to eliminate that pin bar by moving above it, that's when it can, you know, it will increase the chances of coming back to give you that opportunity to enter there. I'm not saying you should sell and accompany it there. You need to be patient. The one that has got higher odds is the one where you'll be taking it from here and pushing to the upside. Trying to trade the pullback is not worth it. Let's see if you are having if you are trading on M15. So if you're trading M15, this is how the structure looks like for you, right? The price was moving up here. You could draw your trend line. We couldn't do this on H1 because there was no swing lows and swing highs that we could, you know, use to draw the trend line. But the lower you move in your time frames, the more candlesticks you're gonna find. That's when you'll have all these, you know, chances to draw the trend lines. So this is what we are having. That's the trend line. It has been removed, but the support hasn't been taken out. So which means it's not safe for you to take a sell. So we just have the resistance there and we have the support. If the support was taken out, you could trade to the downside until this. Don't look past this because this is found inside that H1 that we said. It has higher chances of pushing to the upside. So in this case, we don't have yet a chance for you to sell because of what? You only took out the trend line and you haven't taken out the support. So we need to just say, for now, to increase our chances of winning, if you are trading M15, you are waiting here. If you are trading H1, you are also waiting inside because you are waiting inside what? You are waiting here because this is the one that pushed past the trend line and the resistance. So that's what we can expect from H1. I can say that those ones that are trading M15, you don't have to try and force it to go to the downside. You just need to say, should it come back here, this is the area where I'll be taking my buy trade, right? You're waiting there, wait for confirmation there, and then you get your trade. If you're also doing H1, you're waiting there. If you're doing H4, it's not so clear as yet because this is too close to the zone now. Maybe it has moved like that. You can also execute from there. If you're on daily, you already gotten your confirmation that there's more price to move to the upside. Maybe the next candlestick, if it can give you a bullish pin bar, then you can push all the way until there. So we can see that most of these time frames, they are suggesting that the bulls are gonna be strong in the next coming days or 2-3 weeks or so. So that's why we need to make sure that we lean towards taking the buy trades. Unless, of course, if the sellers push to the downside, and from where we are, they push to the downside. And while you are waiting for your confirmation there on your, for instance, while you're waiting for it to come here so that it can give you the confirmation to buy, then you see it coming to the downside and it gives you no confirmation. It just moves past it. That's when you say, okay, I need to wait now. What the sellers had has been, would have been reversed. Then it means now you're just going to say, let me just wait and see if this one is going to survive. Because if this one is taken out, there's no point in you saying you're going to push the upside, because this is the only and the last thing that the bulls can use to try and contain the price. If they don't defend that one, it's over for them. I already explained that if they don't contain this one, it's over for them. The sellers will have all this space to push the price to the downside. All right, so that's all that you can expect from this one. If you have watched this far and you haven't subscribed, please do that so that I can keep on giving you the content like this. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.